Good morning, this is Seth Moore coming to you again from Anchor by Spotify. I'm doing something a little different. It is early in the morning and I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to go ahead and I wanted to talk about some things, obviously. And I did mention, I think on the last podcast, that I would be coming back and I would be talking about, if you remember me mentioning black hair. And I know this is probably nothing new because there's actually nothing new under the sun. But of course, it's a powerful subject, and we're going to delve in to some of the proponents of, this fascinating attribute that we have. This actual that's attached to our body, that's coming from our spiritual, as I mentioned before, that divine element that we're going to be talking about. So we're going to get into this in a minute, and, we're going to talk about this. And I mentioned also that I said, black men, don't cut your beards. Don't cut your beards. Let your beard grow. Let your hair grow. That's your power. It's in your power. It's a part of your supernatural power and prowess. And we talked about on the last podcast, we were talking about that golden ratio. And we talked about that divine element of, that perfect symmetry that we have as indigenous people, and that divine proportion. And this is a great part that we have of that divine proportion is our hair. Our hair is the only hair on the planet that grows towards the stars, that grows upward. We're the only people whose hair grow upward because it's our antennas, our spiritual antennas. So we're going to dive in, give us a moment, and we're going to get right into it. It says, like galaxies, black hair grows in a spiral pattern like trees. Black hair grows towards the sun. Black hair reminds us of that all is one. Okay, so now when we talked about last time about the golden ratio and the sacred geometry, all of this is a part of that sacred geometry. It's amazing how when the Creator gave me the golden ratio and spoke that to me, and I came back and did a podcast on the golden ratio with the sacred geometry, which means that perfect divine symmetry, that divine proportion, and how our hair patterns even grow in spirals. You see what I'm saying? Like galaxies. So because our people are not just a universally cosmic, but also cosmic, universal star galaxy people. Our ancestors are not just from here being the first humans, but we traverse the galaxies and the stars. It's already been proven that we have been seen on planets. Okay? We have been seen on other planets because we are galactic people. So, and what has happened before I start reading is that we have, and I've said this before, we have been so dumbed down with religion. You understand what I'm saying? With religion, it's extracted and taken from us all of the spiritual power that we have. that we need to actually get back to that divine proportion, that spiral, that sacred geometry, that perfect symmetry, that golden ratio, which we are. See, because we have used an idiom, which is a substitute for something much weaker than who we really are. We are the God source, and we always have been. And people say, oh, there ain't no difference between us. I beg to differ. There is. And that's not being racist. People always want to say we're the same. We are not the same. We are not the same. Our hair don't grow the same. Okay, we don't have the same culture. We don't have the same attributes. We do things differently. And people need to accept people for who they are. We don't do things the same. We don't grow the same. So, people always want to use that when it's convenient. We're all the same. No. We are different. Creator made us different. And we need to embrace who and what we are. That divine proportion. And I'm going to start reading, and I'm going to give you this. This is really deep. This is really, really deep. Okay, and it says here, listen, colonizers have stripped black people of everything but our natural hair, though they've succeeded to some extent by depicting kinky hair as unprofessional, subsequently making black men cut their locks and pushing black women to perm their hair or wear weave, failing to recognize the power in our natural crowns. It's our crown. Black nappy hair is our crown. Same with our women, our children. It's our crown. Listen, melanated woolly antennas. Here is an extension. Excuse me. Here is an extension of our minds. No two hair types are alike. Okay? Remember that. We know that. No two hair types are alike because no two people are alike. Okay? We're not the same. I've said that. People conveniently will always want to use that. We're all the same. I'm not like you. You're not going to weaken me with that skullduggery. We're not the same. The melanin. Okay, let me read. I missed something really quick. Here is an extension of our minds. Okay, no two hair types are alike, as I just read, because no two people are alike. Here is as unique as a fingerprint, because we all have a unique way of thinking. Yes, true that. The melanin in our hair acts as a panel that absorbs all forms of energy and transfers it to the brain. This enhances our sixth sense, allowing us to pick up subtleties in our environment, like warn us about potential danger or alert us when someone is lying. That's how powerful it is. That's how powerful it is. And as I mentioned, that golden ratio, those spirals, which are that perfect symmetry and sacred geometry, as I said in the last podcast. And I'm right on line with this. This is so beautiful because as the Creator gives it, He correlates and He parallels what you've been talking about in the last podcast to say that you are right on target. Spiritually, you're right on target. When we look at the coils on a black person's head and wonder why black hair is so kinky, it's because black hair is a manifestation of how energy moves in the universe. in spirals. And our hair pattern grows in spirals. And it says that we can look at our hair and look at the universe as a manifestation of how energy moves in the universe in spirals. That's sacred geometry, y'all. That's that golden ratio. Energy becomes stronger as it spins. So when you look at a tornado, that's sacred geometry doing its thing. There's nothing bad about a tornado. Now, it may wreck some stuff, but it has a purpose for doing what it does. Because there's a lot of imbalance. There's a lot of imbalance in the universe. And so when we see a tornado come through and it's tearing up stuff, it's only because for the reasons of the imbalance that's in the universe. Okay, the reason black hair grows in a spiral pattern is to give us a stronger connection to the universe and to the world around us. Our kinky hair increases our intuition and spiritual awareness. Now, if you remember, those are two words that have been used in the last podcast or the podcast before that. Intuition and awareness. We did a podcast on awareness, our awareness of our godness. Y'all remember, spiral hair has higher magnetic attraction for higher energies. It may also have the ability to concentrate on or focus these higher energies like a magnifying lens concentrates sun rays. Whatever abilities it has are surely increased or intensified the nappier the hair is. Thus, the nappiest hair, the hair which African people are conditioned to reject and despise the most, turns out to be the most valuable. An excerpt from Blackout Through Whitewash. When I clicked on that, it wasn't giving me no information. It was a dead page because they you know how they want to hide information. But we have sufficient information here, and we all know. Okay, when we cut perm, listen, ladies, listen, black women. When we cut perm, dye our natural hair, we're disrupting our connection to our intuition. And you're not only doing that, I'm going to tell you this because I know this. When our black women are perming and dyeing their hair and putting on that fake hair, and when I read that other part to you, it's going to blow your mind. You are calcifying your pineal gland by putting all that dye in your hair and putting them chemicals in your hair, because what are you frying your hair for? Oh my goodness. Sisters, please go back. We need to get back natural. That is your spiritual goddessness. When we cut, I'm reading it again, perm, dye, or our natural hair, we're disrupting our connection to our intuition. When we wear other people's hair, we risk inheriting the energies of whomever the hair belonged to. For the fellas, if you like to keep a clean cut, grow your beard out. It holds the same spiritual benefits. Okay, powerful. Now, you ladies, black women, when you're putting on that fake hair, you're putting the energies of somebody else's in your body, in your spirit, in your solar system. You carrying around other personalities of somebody's energy. And that's why you might be acting all damn crazy. Wearing that fake somebody else's hair on your head. Okay? And it talks about the brothers, about letting our beards grow. Keep it clean and keep it, groomed, but you don't have to cut it. And you can have it clean cut. You know what I'm saying? Shave it. I mean, just, trim it or whatever. And you could do that with shears. You could do that with scissors. You know what I mean? And I've been using clippers to cut mine, but I'm gonna stop cutting my beard altogether, because when I got that, I said, okay, I'm gonna stop cutting it. I'm gonna just let it grow a while, and when it grows, I'll trim it up, because I know it looks decent when it does grow, and so I'll begin to groom it and tame it, and and do what it needs to be done to keep it. So this is it. Rastafarians do not manipulate their hair, because it is a representation of the natural self, the self that is not skewed by Eurocentric views. Embracing the woolly crown growing from our heads is embracing who we are, people of African descent. It's critical that we care for and appreciate our natural hair. Black people are the only ones on this planet whose hair defies gravity and grows upward like a tree. You hear that? As if it's reaching for the stars. Our hair is extraordinary. Remember that. People are jealous of that. This is why you have found, when black people's hair become a big thing on jobs. I want you to cut your locks. I want, even in schools now, they're discriminating against kids. They can't do it no more because they're passing laws. But our hair is intimidating, because they know what it is. They know what it is. Our hair is powerful. It's power. It's connected to the Creator. It's connected to the universe. It's connected to our spiritual awakening, our spiritual gravitation, our spiritual ascension. It is a divine element in the universe. We are connected to the universe. We are the God source in the universe. That's what it is. And it's the same thing with melanin. I'm gonna read something else. So, and like I said, if we don't get through with everything, we'll come back. But we don't need to do what other people want us to do. And this is why there's been such a big issue with, if you're gonna get this job, I need you to cut your hair. Or if you're gonna be a TV anchor, sister, I need you to cut your dreadlocks. They're afraid of that. They're afraid of that power. That's too much power. It has nothing to do with it's not decent looking, because it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. And people are envious and jealous because they don't have it. They don't have that connection with the Creator. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. It shows your godness. Okay, and we're gonna because I don't want to tell this from because they have a lot of things that I'm actually researching, right? And I don't want to tell nothing from your Eurocentric point of view, and it's not that I don't read any of their things, but you can't tell me about my hair if you don't have it, and this is why when a lot of brothers and sisters are in China and they have their locks or what have you, and they're just growing it naturally, the Chinese people, they're fascinated. They're actually in awe of our hair. They want to touch it. They want to, it's woolly and it's kinky, but it's still soft like cotton. Soft like cotton. And that's why the scripture talks about his hair is like lamb's wool. That's the Creator. That's the Creator. That's the Creator. Feet like polished brass. Eyes of fire. We're in his likeness. We are the divine proportion. We are all that and some chips and juice and whatever else you want to call it. Love yourself. Love your hair. Wear your natural hair, sisters. Wear your natural hair. Take that other hair and bring it back to the Korean place. Give them that mess back, because you're walking around with somebody else's personalities, as I mentioned earlier, and they could have demons, and you walking around with somebody's hair, and I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to really figure out what our people are doing. I'm seeing people with pink hair and what in the hell, purple hair and orange hair, and what is all that about? Looking like a bunch of clowns. Like you need to be in a circus somewhere. I'm seeing people with pink braids and purple braid. Wear your own hair. Your hair is beautiful, black women. And for those that have hair problems, go and see somebody. Go to a professional. If you can't afford it, seek consultation. But wear your own natural hair. And I know some people say, well, brother, you don't know what I'm going through. I got alopecia. You know what I mean? And my hair actually, and for those who have that, it's understood. You have to do what you have to do, until you can do better, but so let's go on. I'm going to read some more stuff to you. It's, I missed the location where I want to get back to. Give me just a moment, okay? Okay, I'm back. Let's look at this. Y'all. I hope you're enjoying what I'm giving you. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying what I'm giving you. It's amazing how you can have something and then you can all of a sudden lose it again. I'm trying to actually get back to the place where I was at before. And hopefully I'll be able to. Just bear with me a moment. Musa. Inhale, exhale. But we have to get back to our natural spiritual selves. You know, we have to really do that because it's within our best interest to actually do that. It is in our very best interest to do that. Because we're the only people on the planet. Everybody else wants to demonize, you know, for everything we do. We can't even wear our own natural hair. They want to demonize us for that. You know, I mean, you know, you have to understand. You have to understand. You really do have to understand. You have to understand the power play, why it's like that. And I've said to you often how people will use your own science against you. You know, and you have to really be careful of that. They will use your own science against you if you are not aware, because they know what it means. Yeah, they know what it means. So the thing about you and me is that we have to know what it means. Yeah, we have to know what it means, and we have to teach our children this. Because I was doing this research, and I was sharing with you about the divine proportion and the sacred geometry and the Kundalini, because within us, melanated people, we carry the most light frequencies, and I'm talking about electric light frequencies in the universe, and that is a part of our superpower. And that energy, you can actually use that energy to burn people up. No, and I say that might sound crazy, right? That might sound crazy, but you have the energy that's you can transfer. You know, you have that kind of energy. And we're going to be talking about that as well. But you have people who want what you have. Yeah, they want what you have. Make no mistake about it. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'll find the other one. I'm gonna find the other one, and I'm gonna just go with this one right here. Okay, so we'll go with this one, and what I'll do when I come back, when we do probably, we'll pick up on it tomorrow, or today sometime, I'll bring this one back to our hearing. Okay, so it says here, let's just go with this. And the other one I was looking for, but they're all, powerful. It's no secret that the modern spiritual person often involved long flowing locks, perhaps even with a few there. Even with a few dreads thrown in there, While you might be aware of the link between hair and spiritual energy on a personal level or even a scriptural level, there are so many practices schools of thought and belief systems to explore. It's true that there is a strong link between here and spiritual energy acknowledged in many cultural traditions, but you may be surprised to find that there are many meanings that a link can signify. There are spiritual paths that call for you to grow your hair as long as possible, and there are paths that call for you to shave it bald. Now, of course, black people, we're not monks. You know, we ain't monks. And I ain't saying we can't be one, but there was a story, and this actually is true history, of, I forget the first black samurai from Africa. I forget his name, but he had locks, and he wound up going to China, and he wound up being a bad boy, you know, and this is in history. And he wound up, you know, going through the rituals and the training, and he became one of the greatest samurais there were. So, I'll move on. It talks about there's scriptural paths that call for you to grow your hair as long as possible, and there are paths that call for you to shave it bald, and that's not for us. But there are paths, and you got black women cutting their hair off. Don't do that. Black women, let your hair grow. Okay. There are paths that call for leaving it untouched, while others would guide you to cover it. Excuse me. Each of these methods come from rich spiritual practices and cultures with their own meanings and understandings of spiritual energy. But as you know, for us, anytime people are trying to get you to cut your hair, it's just like when Solomon in scripture, you remember that, and how Delilah was trying to find out where his power was. His power was in his hair. His power was in his dreadlocks. So this is why you try to see other cultures appropriating our culture. And we didn't say they couldn't get locks. I've never said it. But people want to be like us. They realize the spiritual power that we have. Okay? And so this is what this is really all about. So this is, we're going to stop in a moment, but this is where we have to use what we have. And we have a lot. We have a lot. We just don't use it. We have a lot. We have a lot. We have more than most people. Because again, no one's hair grows like ours. You know, people look at you funny because they may think, you know, if you just kind of let it grow wild, they might look at it like it's crazy looking. But no, our hair is power. It's consciousness. It's consciousness, for real. Is our spiritual connection to the universe and to the Creator. And we shouldn't give that up. We should not give it up, y'all. See now, and oftentimes what they do is they want to start talking about when we have a thing that's spiritually ours from the Creator, from the universe, it's like no other. And it's not about bragging. It's not about saying you're better than anybody. It's not about racism, which we can't be. Everybody wants to follow what we do because we're the trendsetters. We're the God element, okay? And so it doesn't work for other people like it does us. It doesn't, plain and simple. So when you see other people, other cultures getting dreadlocks, they don't have that connection. You can get dreadlocks all you want. If your hair doesn't spiritually grow upward, it's not the same effect. You're not going to get the same effect. So y'all, you don't even have to worry about that. They're not going to get the same connectivity. It's not going to be the same because it doesn't naturally grow like that. It's not something that spiritually has been innate, a part of who they are. So you don't have to worry about it. They can get dreads all they want. It's not the same. Because the nappy kinky hair is the only hair on the planet that grows upward like a tree. So you don't have to be concerned about somebody, you getting all bent out of shape and somebody getting locks that don't look like you. You don't have to be concerned with that. For what? They trying to play with a brother now. Okay, so y'all want to do that. Okay, so this is what I'm saying to y'all though. We have to get back to who we are, our godness. Yeah, we have to do that because it's so important for us to show our children, who they are and what they are. Yeah, so we have to. But I'm gonna, and like I said, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. And we're going to pick up on this, and we're going to pick back up on this and, see, because obviously you already know when you're doing something and you're on a spiritual height, they always, why do people do that? Why do, because number one, I know why they do it. Because number one, they hear me. Number one, they hear me because you don't have privacy, right? They're listening to everything you say, every button you click on your computer. They're listening, so they can interrupt you at any moment's notice and cause you to lose where you are and to block you from having meaningful dialogue and y'all, you just don't know how powerful you are. Okay, so anyways, we're going to so what we're going to do, y'all, we're going to come back and we're going to pick up on this again And as always, I always appreciate you, and always want you to tune in and share. Like, if you're not jealous or if you're not a hater, give a like, because it's amazing how we are so against our own selves when it comes to gaining access to who we are, knowledge, spiritual awakening, and how we'll do everything against ourselves for the benefit of someone else. So if that, we just need to come out of that slave mind. We build and begin to build with one another. Why do and raise our vibration, as I always say. Yep, and it says, I'll read this lastly and we'll be done. It talks about, yes, in the spirituality of here, believe it or not, our here is not only making us look good, the fact that among all the living species, only we humans can grow our here holds a deep spiritual significance. Only we humans. Now, who's the human? Who is the humane? We are the only humans on the planet. We're the only species without Neanderthal DNA. So that makes us the only humans. Remember that. The ancient people knew about this secret, and thus we can find various references to the spirituality of here in different indigenous cultures, but more on that later. Okay? Like I said, we'll talk about this later. Okay, so we're going to stop for now, and we're going to pick up on this later on. So thanks for listening. As always, this is Seth Moore coming to you again on Anchor by Spotify. Remember to like and share. Visit us on our many other sites such as Amazon, Patreon, Podbean, Buzzsprout, and many, many more. So sleep well and have a great day.